No.
Yes, they can hear. Hello. I'll start all that again. Brilliant. Yes, I can. Thank you for all your support. Yay! I love you all already. Thank you very much for coming to Sociology. That's fantastic. And thank you for all yesing and supporting me there, because I have no idea how to do this newfangled presentation. Right, this is Sociology at Hills. The first thing I'm going to say is, I will have done my roots by the time I see you. I do apologise for that. So we want to get straight on to what is sociology. Now, I've just clicked on that and it's I'm not sure how I can move on to the next slide. So I'll just talk why study sociology, and hopefully the slide will come up in a moment. I am pressing the arrows, yes. Nothing's happening. Hello, I'm just going to talk you through it anyway, folks. Sorry, first technical glitch. Here we go. Why study sociology? So, really what we're looking at, folks, is how unequal society is. So if you're interested in that, you're going to be interested in sociology. So we're looking at what life chances some people have compared to others. And largely that's based on social class, ethnicity, gender, age, all of those social factors, and why some people seem to have a much easier time in society than others. And then most importantly, we're going to look at what on earth can society do to improve the situation so that there is more equality for people, so there are more equal opportunities to start with. And then finally, of course, because it's an essay subject, what we hope you're going to develop, or you certainly will develop through the course, is a really good grasp of how to write an analytical essay that would be so useful at university. Okay, I'm going to try and go on to the next slide, but based on my last experience, it's not doing it again. I'm going to roll ahead. So let's have a look at, there it is. Let's have a look at what is actually on the course. So you can see on the slide that there are 6 different slots or 6 different units to it. And we cover 4 in the first year and 2 in the second year, so that we leave ourselves a really big, long run-in of revision to the exam, which people really appreciate. So I'm just going to give you a brief outline of what is in each topic. So in the lower 6, the first things we look at are education and family and households. So, I mean, I always say at open evening, when I'm normally doing it face-to-face, that if you looked at a class of reception age children, which I've done because both my kids have been through primary school, you could probably guess, based on nothing more than looking at the kids and possibly their parents, who's always moving without me, who's going to do well in education and who isn't, based on nothing more than a quick guess about their social class, their gender, other really superficial factors. And we say in sociology that can't be right. Why is it that middle-class kids seem to float through the education system almost effortlessly? And we know that working-class students, particularly the poorest white boys, do appallingly in education. And we start by saying that's nothing to do with their intelligence, so we start blaming other people. So we'll look at teachers, we'll look at the government policy and what influence that has on education. We'll look at what role the family has. We blame everyone. And in the end, what we discover is that actually it's a mix of all of them that probably holds some people back in education. And we look at what could be done to create a more level playing field at the start of the education system. Because without decent GCSEs and A-levels, as I'm sure you're thinking at the moment in year 11, your life chances are somewhat limited. Certainly not the end of the world if you fail, but you've got a few more options if you pass. So we'll look at that. Then we look at family and household, and actually it's Freya, who I think you can see on the screen. Hello, Freya, who teaches that, and I teach education along with Dr. O'Donnell, who's not here tonight. And in family and households, the first thing one of the key things we look at is the history of the family and how it's moved on in the past 100, 200 years from everybody living in a very specific family type, the nuclear family, married parents with their own children, to something much more diverse now, where a quarter of 5-year-olds by the age of 5, that makes sense, are living with just one parent. And we're certainly not looking at any family group judgmentally at all. We're just looking at the changing patterns of family life and what impact that has. We'll also look at childhood and whether that's a better or worse time now. And also, who does the bulk of the work within the home? And we'll be asking you what you think when you get here. Is there an equal gender split? Are men and women doing equal amounts in the home? If there are two parents, a male and a female in the home, who is doing most? Is there a more equal gender split or not these days? Anything else of family, Freya? I mean, actually, one of the big new developments in family, I guess, is the fact that social media has such a big impact on family life. And we'll be looking at what that does to childhood as well. What difference or what impact has it had on all of you? That probably about half your day is spent social networking. That is bound to have a huge impact on your life, your education chances, and your family relationships. And we'll look at whether looking like you're having a good time has now become more important than actually having a good time. And I rather suspect that is the truth. It's weird with none of you talking back, can I just say? I like a bit of interaction. I'm going to press on regardless. Right.
I can add to that. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember. You started talking about childhood, but again, linking that in with the history of childhood as a construction. And as you say, kind of what does that mean today, and how do parents treat children differently today than they did historically? And the constant changes, and linking that in with new technologies and how that might change our experiences of children. It's very interesting.
It is. I mean, the thing is, guys, sociology is just so naturally interesting. I can't tell if I'm making it interesting just staring at my own face talking about it, but I hope I'm conveying to you it's just about real life and what we can do to improve it. Also in the lower six, the 5 and 6, which is methods and theory, which is the methods is looking at how do we actually go about gathering the information to make all these statements? So is it best to use questionnaires or observation? A lot of that will probably sound quite familiar to you from GCSE, and we'll build on that. The theory is slightly heavier going. It's looking at what all the theorists say about sociology, but it's really, sociology hangs off that theory. So you need to understand why Marxists are very different to functionists. We look at feminists, etc. Then in the upper sixth, our big topics are beliefs in society and crime and deviance. Beliefs in society, Freya and I teach, and I absolutely love it, I have to say. It's looking at whether, firstly, globally, not just in the UK, but also in the UK, is religion even relevant to lots of us today? We're such a secular, i.e. non-religious society, that you could argue religion plays very little part in our day-to-day lives. But when you start digging a bit deeper, actually it has a vast influence. For me, the most interesting bit of that is whether religion globally causes conflict or stability. Is it a force for peace, as it wants to be, as it should be, or in fact is it the cause of conflict globally? And I'm afraid if you watch the news, which we're going to encourage you to do daily, you'll see that there is quite a lot of religious conflict globally. That's quite hard to say. Whether that is religion's fault or it's a sort of twisting of religion, we'll debate as well. Really exciting, that bit. And then crime and deviance, which tends to be the one people are most excited about. And it is a fabulous bit of the course. And lots of people do go on to do criminology afterwards. So it's looking at who are the criminals, or even more interesting than who are the criminals, who's in our prisons, who's getting busted for being a criminal, and are they really the criminals? Our prisons are full of the mentally ill, of young working class men, particularly ethnic minorities. And we'll be looking at, are they really the major criminals? Or actually, are they just the people that are more focused on by the criminal justice system? And is that unfair? And I'd argue probably it is. And then we'll look at middle class crime. So what's going on in the companies? What kind of tax evasion are people getting away with en masse and costing us a fortune globally, but no one's really looking. So crime and deviance is really interesting. So that's an outline of the course, and I hope that sounds exciting to you. I'm going to try the next slide. Let's see if it works. Yay! Right, I'm not sure that is the next slide. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well done. What will you gain from studying sociology? Me and Freya for a whole year teaching you, and that's gift enough, quite honestly, and that's why you should join. However, on top of that, you will also gain an excellent A-level. Our results are really good. It's an A-level that is highly respected by the universities. I've heard some sort of snob value comments about sociology, and understandably, like, people are keen to do A-levels that are going to get you into the really good universities. God knows you're going to pay enough for it. You want to get into a good one. So I just want to reassure you that loads of our students go to the top universities. It's highly respected by all the universities. And the truth is, and I say this every year to everyone, pick stuff you're interested in because you'll get a higher mark. So if this sounds interesting to you, go for it, because it will get you a better mark than another subject. I don't want to pick on another subject that you might not be as interested in, but sounds more glitzy and glamorous. So, you know, we do get a lot of the really top marks. And I think it's because people are naturally drawn into the subject. Okay. Also, I've put here a more nuanced and empathetic understanding of our society. And actually, I don't think that can be overstated. I think a lot of people start the course, as I did when I did it at degree, not really understanding the subtleties of inequality in this society. And I think it really challenges any prejudices people might have, whether they know they have them or not, gender prejudices that may be simmering under the surface. And it really makes you think about society and how everyone deserves a fair crack at the whip within it. Okay, I'm tapping a key and nothing's happening. Here we go. Obviously, one of the key things is, what do we do to support our students? Because the truth is, I know Hills Road has a kind of reputation for hammering away at its students and making you all work hard. I don't think we make people work hard more than any other sixth form centre, in the sense that, you know, you've got to do a fair amount of work to get decent A-levels. I would say in sociology, we are really, really sympathetic to the fact that sometimes you're going to feel overwhelmed. We're also sympathetic to the fact that the minute everyone gets here, they assume everyone else in the room is brighter than them, which simply isn't true. Actually, it's much more mixed in ability than you could imagine at Hills, and we cater for everyone. It's not a race. Everyone will get there in the end, and we'll support you at your own speed. So I think the first thing I'd like to say is that I think we're very approachable, and that you can come and talk to us always about any worries you have with the subject. If you're feeling behind, if you need an extension for a deadline, that so isn't the end of the world. Just keep us in the loop, and honestly, we'll be completely understanding, I promise. We're always free for a chat. Well, when COVID's not around, we're always here for a chat. We're always here for a chat online at the moment, but hopefully we'll be face to face by the time we see you. And I've put, we have specialist work booklets to guide you through the course, and we do very popular revision booklets that literally shove the whole course into a matter of pages, that people find extremely useful to revise from. So really, we're going to scaffold it very carefully, support you the whole way through it. We all assume when you get here, you couldn't write an A-level essay if we paid you, because why could you? You've never done it. And so we will literally lead you through the nose at first, through how to write an A-level essay, until you're up and running and feeling more confident. We also offer something called Sociology Plus, which is a workshop every week, which normally is on a Wednesday lunchtime in the lovely classroom I'm sitting in. People can just drop in with their lunch, either come in and just have a moan, or get help with an essay, or stay for 2 minutes because they didn't understand a word. Whatever you need, we're here. And that will be, I feel sure, available when you get here. At the moment, it's online. And then, of course, at the moment, we're relying heavily on Teams meeting, phone calls and messages. And actually, now I've got my head around Teams pretty much. It's proving to be very useful. We get a lot of emails. It's a bit like Facebook, I'm finding. You know, we can ping things back very quickly. So we genuinely are here to support you. I promise, I promise. Right, next one. Lovely. How do we assess you? Well, this is the less fun bit of the course, which is assessing you, which of course is important for lots of reasons. We've really had a big thing this year in our department about the difference between summative and formative assessment. Freya, tell me if I've got these the wrong way around. So summative assessment is the timed assessment. So through the year, there'll be 6 in the lower sixth, 6 in the upper sixth, which are formal assessments to see how you're getting on. Now, if you completely spanner out on them, it is not the end of the world. It's all practice, but they're the more kind of, they're timed. We'll be able to let you know how you're getting on, really assess your learning. But in between that is pretty much constant formative assessment, which is hands up. questioning, practice in class at doing a quick 5 marker and peer marking it or going through it. Just constant informal, how are you getting on? And I think you'll find that really useful. And again, I do honestly think we're a very approachable department. If you're not getting it, we're not explaining it properly, so tell us. Okay, right. Oh, it just went on. Thank you very much, whoever did that magically. Oh no, it's gone back. It's like a game I can't keep up with. Right, what do our students do next? Well, lots of things, anything and everything I've put. The truth is here that most students go on to do degrees. However, I do not stand by the fact that a degree is the only useful thing to do after you've got some decent A-levels. These days, there are amazing vocational degrees out there that you get paid for doing. You won't work up student fees, etc. So we prepare ourselves, or our students, sorry, for a whole range of things. If I'm honest, probably the most common things, I've put the list there. We send a lot of people to do law. It's very, very popular here. There's no denying. I mean, cash earner, isn't it? Lovely. Not like teaching. I'm teaching, but yeah, don't expect a big house or anything. Sociology. A lot of people do go on to do sociology, which clearly I see as a personal victory that we've inspired you. Social policy, I think, is such an interesting degree, and lots of people have gone on to do that. So looking at either local or national policy, what can we actually do to improve society? And in a sense, that's the most exciting bit of sociology, I think. Lots of nurses, we send off a load of midwives, and these days you've got to have a few A's to do that. I think it's really competitive, but yet we do send a lot of people to do that. One of them popped up at the birth of my last child, bless her, but we won't go into that now. Politics. A lot of people gone to do politics degrees. A lot of people do politics A-level as well. It has to be said, they really do complement each other. And criminology. A lot of people enjoy the crime and deviance bit and go on to do criminology. So study what's behind crime in this country and what can we do to reduce it. Okay. Here we go. So I think I'm not sure quite what year this was. I think it possibly is last year's. Obviously last year's was a bit of a strange set of grades for a million different reasons. Is it the year before, Freya? It is last year, yeah. But the truth is, it represents almost exactly what we get. We have very steady percentages. So you can see that A star to B is 79%, which is an outstanding performance by our students. You know that the vast majority get in the really high grade boundary, and I couldn't be more proud of them for doing it. People do work hard here. There's no getting away from it. And I think we make it easy for you to work hard and get ahead. No one failed. Look at that. No one failed. And to be honest, I can't remember more than 2 or 3 people failing the whole time I've been here. And they were A students who really didn't care, but they were lovely and they're all right, I'm sure. Most people don't fail. Most people do get the high grades here. No pressure. But I think what I'm trying to say is we teach it really well. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's some of the courses taken at university. So 89% of people go on to higher education. As I said, the vast majority of our students do go on to do a degree. However, there are lots of other fabulous options, like getting jobs. 2% only went on to apprenticeships. I think that will increase as these amazing degree apprenticeships start to pick up. And 2% went to further education. I think probably those students were doing art foundation. That seems to be the most common thing for further education. And you can see a list of things there. Lots of the courses taken at uni, fabulous range of subjects, and honestly at brilliant universities as well. I'm rambling, but I'm going to keep going. Where are we up to next? Meet our year 13 students. Right. Where are they? What do I do? Mr. Admin Man. Hello, there they are, as if by magic. If you'd like to ask Maisie, I don't know where Lottie is, but start with Maisie. If there's anything you'd like to ask Maisie. Maisie, do you want to start by just saying what you've enjoyed about sociology at Hills?
Well, I think it's been good because it's a bit like very discussion based in class, which I really enjoy. And it's like, even if you don't want to contribute something, someone has something to say, and it's always like there's a mixture of opinions, and
that the truth?
It's very interesting.
Good. And Maisie is very good at it, I might say, heading for an A star, no pressure there. Is there anything, can students ask our sixth formers anything at this point? Oh, Lottie's here. I can't see her face, and she's very beautiful. Okay. Where is she? Lottie?
Can you not see me?
I can't. Can anyone else?
I can, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Can you
it's
see her,
me.
Maisie?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Go for it, Lottie. What have you enjoyed about sociology?
I think for me, it's I think since starting it specifically at A-level as well, kind of at GCSE, but mainly at A-level, it's kind of changed the way that you look at society and the different kind of things that run inside of it. I mean, you said we do education in the first year. And since doing that, I think even like looking at our A-levels and colleges and stuff in general, it like completely changes your perception, which is really cool, I think.
Oh, it's very good to hear. Thank you. I think when we do the question and answer, you guys stay online now, don't you? So if anyone wants to ask students anything, as opposed to teachers, do say, and our students can get involved and answer, because they'll probably be more honest. We'll just say we're absolutely amazing. I'm going to try and go on to my next slide for a minute, which is question and answer. So I'm passing over to the beautiful hands of Freya Hunter and our students who are going to take any questions.
Thank you, Penny. Can you hear me, Penny? Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're a bit echoing.
Fine, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to turn my thing down, not my mic off. Hello. Right, I can see there's lots of very interesting questions
Yeah, there
here.
are.
So I'm loving this voting system, so I can see which ones people are most interested in finding out. The first question is, how much essay writing is involved in the course? Now, it is an essay-based subject, but what's really good about our subject is that it has such a good range of different sizes of questions. You know, you have your shorter questions, your 4, your 6, which really are kind of aiming to find out your knowledge. Then you have your kind of middle size questions, 10 markers, where you can get loads of knowledge and testing how much you know, but also whether you can analyze. And then there are a few longer questions, a 20 and a 30 marker, which again, it's where that kind of evaluation skills, analytical skills come into play. And you get a chance to really explore a subject and even evaluate and make judgments about it. And so what's really good, it is an essay-based subject, but it has a range of different sized kind of answers that are needed. And it develops a really good range of essay-based skills. I'm not sure, has that question just disappeared? Because I think it's gone because I answered it. I'm hoping that answers the question. There are some longer based essay questions, not as long as some other subjects though, but as I said, still long enough to enable you to make an argument, to really explore a point. So yeah, you do really build those essay based skills.
Sorry, I'm just wondering what the girls think of the essays. How have you found them?
Hmm?
Earth calling Maisie and Lottie.
How
do you find the essays?
They've definitely got easier. Yeah. Like at the start of the year, I was a bit like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And then as it's gone on, I found it so much easier to answer them now because I know all the techniques and all the knowledge and everything. So it's a lot easier.
In a way, that's the one good thing about the new A2 system is that you don't have to write it officially until right at the end, which is good. Yeah.
So Maisie would say that we give you very good structures and supports for writing those essays, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Not one word at all. So next question is that, are there any other subjects you suggest for pairing with sociology? So, oh no, I can hear myself. I'm going to have to turn that down. Sorry. There are other subjects that use very similar skills, and there are other subjects that there are certain parts of our course that definitely cross over with. For example, history. In order to understand society and social trends, of course, knowing history and knowing the history of our society is really important. So I think history works really well with sociology, and again, we use very similar written skills. Psychology, sometimes parts of psychology might
the methods is so similar.
We're talking about why people might perform certain actions and the meaning behind those actions. Sometimes some crossovers with psychology. Politics is one that also crosses over. We talk a lot about political theory, as do they. And all those subjects use very similar skills. Oh, RE, and we do the beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Religious studies, again, is really complementary to that. Philosophy as well, lots of similar skills used, lots of similar essay writing skills. And some of the theory we do is actually quite philosophical, so being able to understand a philosophical argument could help you. But I think it goes with all subjects, because all subjects link to society, and our subject is about society. So yeah, but those ones I think especially work well. Canny and students, are there any other ones you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I was just thinking the most useful in a sense, or the biggest overlap, you've already said, is psychology, because the methods is really very similar. Maisie or Lottie, do you do psychology?
No.
No. Either of you do politics?
No, I do psychology.
There's actually quite a big link with politics as well, as you said, just that they look at the mechanics of how policy is made, and we look at the outcome of that policy. So there's lots of overlap. We look a lot at new right conservatism, and they do a lot on that. So yeah, loads of overlap with politics.
Cool, thank you. Right, so I'm just going back to the questions.
Have they all gone? They've all gone from my screen.
I think they're here. I just need to scroll. Okay, right. What grades will we need to study it? 6s, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the college entrance, which is, the only thing that's useful in a sense. I saw earlier, do you have to have done sociology? No, you don't. But if you're not good at English or history or RS, the written subjects, you want to be pretty good at them at GCSE, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd like you to have 6s in those essay-based subjects, really, so that you can obviously approach the A-level style essays that we do. But as we said, we do support you. So, maybe if you didn't feel supported in your essay writing at secondary school, there's always a chance, actually, there might be things that we might be able to help you with. So, even if you aren't particularly strong on your essay-based one, it might be worth a try, even if you're interested, because we give you lots of structures and lots of support with it. So at the top, next question. Sorry, did I ask everyone else? I did, didn't I? I'm going to move on to the next question. What are class sizes like? So sociology is a very popular subject. Everyone loves it. Everyone wants to join our classes. Even 2 months in, we've still got students that are desperate to join our subjects. So we do end up with class sizes of about
24, basically, all of them, aren't they, in the end?
Which is great, because it means that there's lots of people for discussion, there's lots of people to learn off. And it's like a really kind of nice atmosphere in our classrooms with people with lots of different beliefs and opinions to kind of have those important discussions with. Next question, how much homework do you get given per week? So there is a college kind of standard, which is that you should...
Keep quiet, girls. I always forget.
You are supposed to do 5 hours extra per subject. Now, that does not mean we are going to give you 5 hours of homework a week, but what we do... So we might give you a couple of hours of homework a week. And then what we do is we recommend that you go away and you do some extra reading. And we have a textbook that we recommend to make up the rest of those 5 hours. So and that's the same across the whole college. So it's not sociology that's saying, oh, you have to do 5 extra hours. That's the college standard. And, we will support you and give you things if you're thinking, oh, I don't know how to fill the 5 hours. But,
it varies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's the truth. It just varies. And you get out of it what you put into it, in a sense, don't you?
Yeah, as long as, you're keeping up with what we're doing. And if there's any problems, we just always would prefer you to talk to us. As Canny said, we're very approachable and we're very happy to discuss things. If you're struggling with a piece of homework, we're here to help you. Maisie and Lottie, any comments on homework?
I'd say I definitely don't do always 5 hours every week. But
unbelievable.
So it's I think when they say that, it sounds like so much more than what you do for GCSE.
Totally.
And it's very intimidating, but it's not any more than any other subject I've found,
God, no.
and it's very manageable.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to scare everyone with that.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds. Right, next question. So in total, how many exams are there and how does coursework influence the grade? So there is no coursework for this A-level. You do not get assessed on any coursework. It doesn't go towards your final mark. There are exams, 2 hours each. Yeah, and they cover the 6 topics that Canny spoke about at the beginning. So 3 exams, and they're separated out 2 hours each, and they're all equal weighting. So it kind of puts the course up into 3 nice chunks, really. I don't think there's any mystery on that, is there? No. Next question, does this course complement law at university? Well, as Canny's already said, so many of our students do go on to study law, and so obviously lots of universities accept it.
What are you girls going on to?
Anyone doing law?
Go on, Maisie, what are you going to do?
No idea.
Oh, good. We've inspired you then, Martha. And Lottie, what are you doing?
Sociology.
Yay! Good
You
learn from that, Maisie.
Yeah, that was the wrong answer, Maisie. No, you need time to make your mind up. But yeah, it definitely complements law because if you understand society, you understand social trends, you understand social inequalities, and you understand the background reasons for it. Number one, it makes you a better person at dealing with the general public. It makes you kind of more prepared to understand social issues, whether you're doing a kind of law that deals with the general public and personal issues, or whether you're maybe dealing with corporations. You have a better understanding of the general structures of society, inequalities within society. Also within law, you often have to formulate your own arguments. Within law, you have to be kind of quick thinking and able to represent your client in their interests. So if you understand your client better, because you have a better understanding of society, that's good. And if you're practiced at writing essays that you have to argue a point, then you're going to be able to argue your case for them.
That was like a lawyer. That was so slick.
Yeah, my husband's a lawyer, so I'm So, next question. I'm hoping that answered that. Would this subject work well with psychology? I think me and Canny have both answered that already. Yes, definitely. A lot of the theory links in, and a lot of the topics we're talking about what are people thinking, what's inspiring them, what's motivating them to do them. So, is there an overlap between the crime section and the criminology A-level? So, as far as I'm aware, there is not a criminology A-level. There is a criminology diploma.
I think Long Road might offer something like that.
But I don't think it's an A-level. I think it's a level 3 something.
Okay.
I don't know much about.
I know people have done something. It's worth asking at Long Road if that's what you'd really like to focus on. Definitely, yeah.
I think there are crossovers between what we do. Obviously, criminology is only crime and deviance is only a 6th of our kind of syllabus, whereas criminology is the whole thing. But yeah, I think there would be crossovers. I don't think it's an A-level. I think it's another type of course which is on the same level as A-level.
All I was going to say, sorry, to add to that, is that actually for me, if you wanted to study criminology without doing family and education as a basis, I don't know how you could understand how the criminal is created almost without understanding the processes that have led up to it, and religion, of course, as well. Those other big influences in life either create or don't create to some extent criminal activity and behaviour. So I think the whole sociology course is such a good grounding for it, frankly.
Definitely, yeah. Understanding all those other parts of society, will definitely help you to go on to study criminology, at university. Okay. What would
AQA? I just saw that at the bottom.
AQA?
What's the exam board? Sorry, I just
Oh,
saw that.
right.
Sorry, I'm just completely like,
Where's that come from?
yeah.
I'm just shouting out random answers.
Yeah.
The top one. What would a typical lesson look like? Lots of discussions. Workbooks. We have workbooks which we kind of talk you through. Sometimes we might have a reading that you would do, and then we might discuss it, and then we might fill in some of the workbooks. Sometimes it might be practice exam questions. A lot of time for discussions. Maybe interesting documentaries that we might play. Try and keep it varied, really.
Girls, what would you say? What do you think a typical lesson looks like? Sorry, just cutting again over you.
No, I keep forgetting. I keep looking at the questions.
Yeah, no, totally. So what do you think it looks like?
I think we definitely do a lot of discussion, which I think is probably my favourite bit. Yeah, I mean, usually I think we start with the content, and then it kind of the discussions and like going through the workbook and stuff comes after we've had a bit of like a talk about it, or like research into it or something.
And we chuck in some videos and stuff, don't we? Quite a lot of videos if we can. The last thing on a Friday, definitely.
I think there's definitely like a friendly atmosphere, and we encourage you to ask questions and to open up this discussion around these different, really important social issues. Yeah. And who was that? I can't see the students. Was that Lottie or was that Maisie?
Me.
Lottie. You add anything?
I'd say it definitely varies a little bit, like between teachers. Like I find Canny, we often do a lot of work with just in the workbook, and then which I quite like, and then because it helps keep it all in one place. And then Freya, we get a lot of different worksheets, which is also good because it's like.
Well, no, but actually, combination is quite nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that it's different.
Well,
cool. So let's keep going. Oh, there's so many questions. I feel like I haven't even started yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, next one. Is there a lot more to learn in GCSE? It absolutely doesn't have any effect on you, whether you've done it at GCSE or not.
No.
And I think probably 90% of our students have not studied it at GCSE. There's I had a class of 20 the other day, and none of them have done it at GCSE. And as you can see from our results, we still go on to get top results. So it doesn't hold anyone back if you didn't do it at GCSE. All the concepts, all the ideas, we start from a very basic level to build up your knowledge. So if you haven't done it at GCSE, please do not panic. It makes no difference. Obviously, it's good if you've done it at GCSE because you've got that prior knowledge, but actually, if you havenn't, it doesn't really set you back at all because we're here to support you. And as I said, 90% haven't done it.
Yeah.
Is there a criminology A-level? We don't offer it here. I don't think there is a criminology A-level. Long Road definitely offers something. I think it might be some kind of diploma or something. Probably someone else here, someone in the audience probably knows better than me, because you've probably been researching.
Look on the Long Road website, because they used to offer a course. I thought it was an A-level, but I've never really looked, if I'm honest. So
I know Long Road
there
is definitely a course at Long Road Criminology. So I'd have a look there. Does this course resonate well with philosophy, English, literature? Absolutely. Again, they're essay-based subjects. They're subjects where you have to formulate arguments. They're subjects where you have to analyze ideas, and that's ideas and kind of trends and arguments, and that's exactly what we do. So yes, skills wise, it's very similar. Also, English literature, through reading literature, you're really trying to analyze and learn about society, aren't you? You're trying to think about, well, how does this piece of literature represent or reflect the society at the time? If you understand society better, then you'll understand the literature. So I think it works really well with them. Yes. Can I ask one of the students why they decided to take sociology? Maisie, do you want to start us off? Why did you take sociology?
I actually didn't know what it was until I was deciding what to do for my A-levels, and then my cousin had done it at A-level and was doing a degree in sociology, and she really enjoyed it, and she was saying, you should try sociology. And so I had a look and I thought, that looks really interesting.
Perfect.
So yeah,
And you've never looked back, have you? So,
never.
and Lottie, what about you?
So I did the GCSE and loved it. It was my favorite GCSE I did. And yeah, it was really nice because I loved it so much at GCSE. But I think it was I wanted to kind of like further everything that I learned. So like, if you have been at GCSE, it's not kind of the same thing again. You get like a lot more from doing the A level.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear all of that, but I think you said that you did it for GCSE and you really, really loved it. So that kind of inspired you to continue. So, yeah, you loved it so much, you wanted to continue showing that it's a subject that people really, really enjoy. Right. Is the grade purely exam based? Yes, it is. It's all on exams. But as I said, those exams are really varied with some short questions, some medium questions, some long questions. So it's not like you just sit there and write one long essay. There's a really good selection of different questions. How many lessons are online and how many are real life lessons at Hills Road? Now, obviously, you know, we're in a really difficult time at the moment. We're a big college. So we're currently doing 50-50. Well, actually, it's changing, but it's going to be a bit more face-to-face. So we are going to be predominantly face-to-face. But obviously, we have to see what happens with everything that's going on at the moment. We can't predict it, but we are aiming to be as much face-to-face as possible. At the moment, we're doing 2 hours online and then 2 hours face-to-face, 2 hours online, 2 hours face-to-face, but it is planning to go up. So there will be more face-to-face than online. And hopefully that will and continue to go that way so that eventually we can all be back in the classroom together.
By then, oh my God.
But Maisie and Lottie, you know, some students have actually quite enjoyed having a week from home, and maybe not the lectures themselves, but maybe. Have you got anything to say about kind of the online and the week from home that you're having? Is there any positives about that?
I do think having the week off, no, not week off, but
It's
week
not
at home, the week at home in between being in college, it is almost like a little break, but still doing work in between, which I do like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good.
Yeah, pretty much the same, to be honest.
I think it's easier for the opposite. You've got more of a basis in sociology,
Yeah,
so you're more confident, I think. Yeah, I really hope by the time we meet all of you, Lord knows we need the world back, don't we? So hopefully we'll have it by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, you know, by next year we'll be back to normal face-to-face, but we obviously can't predict that.
Not sure if you can see, but it says there's time for just one more question. So,
oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness, thank you for that. Oh, there's so many questions. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to find one. I've answered that. Just trying to find one that I haven't answered.
There's a few that I can see at the end. There's quite a big theme on how many lessons a week. So normally it's 4 1-hour lessons a week, 1 hour 5. At the moment, it's 2 hours in college and then, or 4 hours in college, isn't it? But in 2-hour chunks. And then the next week there's 2-hour chunks online. But normally it's 4 1 hour 5 periods a week, 2 with each teacher. And it's AQA. That seems to have come up quite a lot as well.
Right, I think that's us done with questions. So that's us done, isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you all of you for coming.
And we really hope that we've answered as many of your questions as possible and that you have a better understanding of the A-level now. But obviously, please feel free to message the college if there's anything else that you're desperate to find out.
Yeah, we can easily do that.
So hopefully you will consider sociology for one of your A-level subjects. And we look forward to meeting you hopefully next year.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come and find out. And thank you, girls.
Yeah, thank you to us.
Giving your views. Does anyone know how to turn it off?